This conference will now be recorded.
So let's understand what is the Redshift. So AWS Redshift is one of the service which is in the cloud. It is the fully managed data warehousing service. Okay, whenever you want to deal with the huge amount of the data, and that data you also need to analyze, okay, like graphical way, like how this data will be, what is the results and all. So in such a scenario you need some kind of the database, okay, which will analyze the data. Okay, so that is the like best part in the Redshift. It support SQL, okay, and it supports parallel processing, so that multiple executions he can do the parallelly, multiple operations he can do the parallelly. So it is the more faster. Nowadays use Instagram, YouTube, social media, lot of apps, they are giving the faster response, giving you the analytic results. Okay, the reason behind that, there not only the one database, there is a multiple database are working. Okay, each database is playing their own role. Okay, so Amazon Redshift is a fully managed data warehousing service. Basically designed for analyzing the large data set using the SQL queries. Okay, Redshift uses column, columnar storage and parallel processing for fast query performance. It can scale up to the petabyte of data and handle the high concurrency workloads. Redshift integrates with other AWS service for data ingestion and analytics. So this is about the Redshift. So basically Redshift use case is what? Data warehousing and analytic for large scale data sets. It's provide the high performance and scale data processing, data integration with other AWS service, integrate with other AWS service, we can do that. Cost effective, flexible pricing options is available in this AWS Redshift. Very advanced level security are available and compliance features in the Redshift. So that's why we are using the Redshift. So in the Redshift, if you can see, there is, you can see internally the data source operational database. There is a external sources, okay, that can be the data source. Bottom tier, you can say data warehouse. Inside that data marts. Then middle tier, there is a OLAP server which is working, and top tier query reports, analytics, data mining. Basically, you will work in the top tier. So this is the architecture. Just I for your informations I shared. So top tier means you will check the query reports, analytic, data mining. So how it is happening in the middle tier, because there is a OLAP server is there. In the bottom there is a data warehousing, and this bottom tier is connected to the data source. The data source will be your operational databases and external sources. Okay, so this is your Redshift architecture. So now we can come to the Redshift implementations. Okay, so first of all, for Redshift implementations, we need to create the identity and access management roles. The reason is Redshift will access the database and some other services. So Redshift should be the trust entity able to do the access some other services. So we need to create the role so that one service can access to the another service. So where we will create the role? Just give me the answer in the chat box. IAM. Okay. So we can go here and identity and access management. We can go here roles. We can create a role. So it is the service level. So we can select here. Trust entity will be Redshift. Select the Redshift. So we can select here Redshift customizable. Go to this next. Now Redshift will interact to the S3 bucket. So S3 full access. So Amazon S3 full access we will provide. Okay. Then go to this next. We will give here like Virajitech USA job data Redshift. So basically I have one project in the US, so job data I can analyze it. So for that I am creating one Redshift. Okay. So you can see your service will be the Redshift, effect will allow, action will be the assume role, and policy the S3 full access, create role. So now our role is created. So we can see Amazon S3 full access, trust relationship with the Redshift. Okay. Suppose that tomorrow I am not going to use this role, I can delete this or revoke the session. Okay. So wherever this role is using, it's revoked. It won't work. Now go to the Redshift. So this is your Amazon Redshift, which is the fast, fully managed petabyte scale cloud data warehouse. Amazon Redshift make it easier for you to run and scale analytics without having to manage your data warehouse. Okay. So now, like you can check the Redshift serverless overview. There is a Amazon Redshift documentations. These are the benefit features like get insight from data in seconds, experience consistency, high performance, no modification, save cost, stay on budget, self-service analytics, auto scaling is available here. Okay, try the Redshift serverless free. So basically it is the serverless. So in the serverless infrastructure, like you can use this Redshift. Okay, now we can see here Amazon Redshift serverless. So cluster dashboard. So this is your Redshift cluster dashboard. You can see provision the cluster dashboard. As if now nodes is 0. Okay, so this is your dashboard. Now we can go and create the cluster. Okay, so give the cluster identifier. What we can say with architect Redshift architect job info Redshift cluster. Choose the size of the cluster. So one is I will choose, another is help me choose. Help me choose means you can define the estimate. Okay, my estimate is for the compressed data. Okay, what is your estimated storage by your data warehouse? So you can increase, okay, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte. Okay, so you can go the petabyte also. That is the facility is available. See, generally this much of data database space it's not available anywhere. So that is how Redshift your importance part. Okay, now like my data is time based, my data is not time based. So you can also maintain like auto scaling, okay, based on the time. Okay, the number of the nodes and all will be increased and decreased. Now what is happening? I will choose, let's decide I will choose. Okay, so here node type is dc2.large. You want to select or lesser than that, you can select. Okay, so based on how many storage number of the CPU you want, okay, according the charges will be vary. So as if now default node type will be the DC2 dot large. Okay, according that you will get the CPU RAM storage. Okay, now number of the nodes. Okay, so how many number of the nodes you needed, we can give here. Like if you are working like something like a bigger project, give the number of the nodes 3, 5, 6. If you are just doing the experimental, you can give the 1, 2, whatever it is. Okay, now like the configuration which you selected, so what is the charges for that? $360 per month, 320 GB total compressed storage. if you select here 1, then $180 per month, that should be the charges. Okay, so we can go 1. Okay, 1 node, or okay, we can delete, let it be the 2 nodes. Now here the thing is, load the sample data. If you don't have it data, you can load the sample data. So this is something like a load a sample data, so it will be load. Okay, so as if now leave it that. Now admin user, so admin username we can give here Virajitech. Just remember this, if I will forget this. Then admin user password, capital A B C D 1 2 3 4. Okay, I gave this capital A B C D 1 2 3 4. We can write it if we supposed to forget that. Okay, now like current permissions, so associate the IAM rule. So you have the IAM rule which you created, so we can select here demo Virajitech Redshift role. Okay, the role which we created.
We created heuristic US.
Sorry. Okay. Mhm. So we selected the role. Okay, I think we created, I think USA job data Redshift. Okay, so
Yes.
we can select this. Okay, associate the IAM role. Once we add it, then there is a default configurations. So now everybody is knowing about the networking. So as if now you can choose the default configurations. What in your office you should not choose the default configuration. You will change. What are the things you will change? Network security. So you will choose here on virtual private cloud which you are working, as if now it is the default. You will choose on security group which you created. Security group means the Redshift, like what should be the inbound rule and outbound rule for that. So it is the SQL based. So according that you will create the security group and you will attach. Okay. Then subnet group you can select ability zones preference, enhanced BPC routing turn on. Okay, publicly accessible you want, then make it the publicly accessible. So this is the network security, you need to ensure that. Okay, then database configuration. So this is the database configuration. If you want to connect some tool, then database name is DAB. Okay, then 5439 should be the port. So 5439 port you need to also mention in the security group, that should be allowed. Okay, and encryption key, like if suppose that there is some banking sectors, insurance sector, sorry, and financial, then you can use the KMS key. Okay, or depends your hardware security module, you can use the HSM key. If you have the HSM key, okay, you can add that. Otherwise, you can make it as a disabled. Okay. Now, maintenance, like use the default maintenance window. If uncheck this, then you define at which date you want the maintenance. Okay. Then monitoring. If you can create the alarms, like the monitoring will happen and particular person, if you have some SNS topic, get the emails. Then backup. So automated snapshots retention period, you define that. Okay, and take the backup. So these all are the parameters we need to define while the production environment we are working. As if now, like use the default. So moreover, you should not change the parameter until you don't have any very specific reason in your requirements. Use the default settings, okay, and change according your project. Never ever use the default BPC in your any project work. Okay, create cluster. So what is happening? We created the cluster. So now here, okay. So we are creating the cluster. So Virajitech job info, Redshift cluster. Here you can see the query data. This is your data source connections like JDBC and ODBC driver. Okay. See, JDBC means Java database connectivity. Okay. So everything will be the internally, you are not going to do anything. Okay. If developer is asking you, give me the driver jar file JDBC 4.20, download this driver and give it to him. This Redshift JDBC jar file, give it to him so that development team they can use this. Okay. So this is the jar file that you can provide the development team so that for this Redshift connect they can use that. Okay. So we created the Redshift cluster. Okay. So far, any questions, you let me know.
This conference will now be recorded.
So your cluster is created. You can see this is the available. Now go to this cluster. Okay. Then here we can see like this is the cluster info, cluster name space, production configurations. Okay. And this is the endpoints that we need to copy this endpoints. This endpoint we will share our developer or manager. Okay, Redshift is ready. This is the endpoint. Anybody can access this by using this endpoint. Somebody needs the JDBC URL, so we can give this JDBC URL and driver informations. Your development team is needed. You can send the mail. Okay, this is the driver information, endpoints, JDBC URL, and as well database details, and as well you can share that Redshift jar file. Okay, the driver file. Okay, So what is happening, your job is done. You done the Redshift configurations, implementations. Now developer team can use it. Now here we can go the properties. So in the properties, this is your database. Okay, so somebody wants to connect the Redshift database. So this is the database name. This is the port number. Okay, he can able to connect this. Okay. Now I want to add the users. Okay. Suppose that one is the admin user. Okay, they can use. So admin credentials I cannot give to the everyone, right? So I want to add some users. So what I will do, I will go to the IAM, click on this IAM. Okay, click on this user. Okay, click on this add user. So I can give this name Redshift admin. Okay, now provide the user access. I want to the IAM custom password. We gave the custom password. Uncheck this. Next. Now attach the policy directly. Okay. So here we will search like Amazon Redshift query editor. Okay. So we can say one policy we can give Amazon Redshift query editor and Amazon Redshift read only access. I don't want he will do some changes and all. So any user they want to access my Redshift, I will give the query editor access and read only access. Okay. The reason I want the security. Okay. Tomorrow somebody cannot do something else in the Redshift. Okay. Go to this next and create. Okay. So download this CSV file. Open this CSV file. Okay. Return to user list. So we created the user. Now we back to the Redshift. Okay. So here you can do any changes if you want. This is your maintenance window. So and so date on time the maintenance window can be take care. So snapshots, usage limit, everything will come here. Scheduler, here you can schedule. Okay, so whatever your scheduled queries, all those things will come here. Query monitoring in the database without Jira, don't do any query because that will be logged. So particular so and so time, what are the query running in this? So that informations will come database performance. Okay, and workload concurrency. Okay, so when the data will be there, so these things will be enabled and cluster performance. Okay, so here the CPU utilizations, disk database connections, how many database connections is going to happen, you monitor it here. If more number of the people are using, then like query in query editor, query in query editor version 2. Okay, there are the actions, resize, delete, all these operations you can able to do here. Now you can go query editor, click on this. Okay, so as if now you can see here your query, this is your query editor. So Redshift has the feature you can write a query. Okay, so now what you need to do, you need to connect the database. Okay, because Redshift has multiple things. See, okay, select which schema. So connect to database. So here connections, create in new connections or recent connections. Then temporary credentials. This is like a cluster which is available. Then give the database name. What is the database name? Tab. Correct. Then database user. So what was our user? Virazitek. So give here Virazitek. So whenever something you need to monitor it, okay. So you can go and connect your Redshift database. So this is the way you can connect Redshift database. Once you connect it, now you can see connections is connected. Okay, so the status is coming as a connected, database is there, user is Virazitek. Okay, now here you can see the dab you connected, then schema. So here like these are the schemas, select here public. Okay, so as if now there is nothing, no resources in this public. Okay, so in this what you will do, you will write a query. Okay, any table like select, create table, table name. So those things you can write it. Okay, so I can give one script. So this is the hands-on queries which you can execute. Okay, so now let's take, like we want to create one user table, user ID, username, first name, last name, city, state, email, phone, like sport. So whatever our database schema. Okay, so it is like a SQL. I hope everybody knows the SQL. Okay, if you don't know the SQL, then what you can do, go to this W3 school. There is SQL, basic SQL you can learn. Okay, you can go W3 school. There you can type SQL, SQL tutorials and learn. So these are the basic SQL. Okay, so as if now, like I want to execute the, I want to create one table in my Redshift. As if now it is the empty. So I put it this now. Okay, select this Control A. Okay, and run this query. So what we are going to do, you can see here completed Your query is executed and you can see your user table is created. All the columns is created. Got it? Yes and no, guys. Yes?
Yeah, got it, sir.
Okay. So, similar way, what you can do? You can create the further tables or not. You can create. What are the further tables? Okay. So now you can create the further table. So suppose that your project, venue, category, date, events, listening, all these tables you created. Suppose. Okay. Put it here. So at the one shot, you can generate entire schema. Okay. So multiple tables we can create at once. Run. So what is happening? Oh, great. All the tables is created. Category, date, event, listing, sales, users, venue. Okay. So you created the multiple tables. Okay. If you go to the venue, see users table is created. We can see the query results. See the executions, data as if no data. And even though if data is there, you can visualize. So as if now nothing is there, so we cannot visualize anything. Okay. But it has the features. Now you got it. The Redshift parallel processing. Now this is the way we created the Redshift and we created the tables inside the Redshift. So far, any questions? All good? Make it the thumbs up sign. Now, suppose that like we can do some like a use case. Go to the S3 for that use case. Some data we want to do the upload and all. So go to this S3 bucket. Click on this. Now let's create one bucket. Go here and we can say Viraj Tech USA job Redshift. Okay. And where we are creating this? Okay. Virginia, you are creating your Redshift. Where it is? Virginia. Okay. Virginia only. You create it. And let it be everything will be the default. I am not going to change anything and create bucket. Okay. So now your bucket is created. So as if now like your bucket is empty, create folder. We can give the folder name. Let's give this tick kit. I gave name tick kit and Amazon S3 create folder. Okay. So one folder is there, tick kit. Now in this tick kit folder, I will add the files. As if now it is the empty. There is a no object. So I want to upload. Go here, upload. So let's upload the file. Okay, so I can unzip this, copy, go to this new folder, click it, data, paste, extract here. Okay, so you can see all events, all users, venues, these all are the files are there. Okay, okay, so now we can upload these files. See, these all are the files, you can see. Okay, some data is there. Okay, so these are the data is there, date data. I will share this file to you. Copy this, go here and add the file, go to the location. I selected this all file, all the like add the file, open. Okay, and now what we can do, upload. Click on this, upload. Okay, now file is going to upload. Okay, so all file is uploaded. You can see all file is uploaded. Once all file is uploaded, go to the bucket. Okay, so what is the bucket? This is the bucket. What is the reason? US East hyphen 1. Copy this US East hyphen 1 reason and okay. So now what you need to do? This is your US East hyphen. Put it here. I shared that file to you, right? All the queries. Okay. So why I shared? So the data we can upload from the S3 file. So this is the your bucket and your bucket name. This is the reason. Okay. Now what you need to do? You need to change the bucket name. Okay. What is your bucket name? So Viraj Tech USA job. This is your bucket name. Okay. So what do you need to do? Go here and so this is the S3. So here you can replace my bucket to bucket name. Okay. So Viraj Tech Redshift you gave this bucket name. So everywhere what you will do, you will change the bucket name. IAM role is you created like reason. So this is the reason. Take this reason is, so define here the reason in this, change this reason. Then IAM role, you remember you created the Viraj USA Redshift role. So the role you need to give that. So what is your role? Go to the IAM. Okay. There we can go to the role. Viraj we created Redshift. Okay. Mhm. Viraj USA job data. So this is our role. So what is the ARN for this? This is the ARN. Okay. So take this ARN and you can put it here. IAM role and you can give here role. Give here Redshift and give here a small bracket. Okay. Done this. So this is the changes which will do everywhere. Okay. In this all file. So one is Viraj Redshift. Give this, replace this, replace. So basically we are uploading the data from the bucket because data file where it is available in the bucket. Now another is ARN IAM rule. So what we can do, we can replace it. Copy this, replace, replace this. Okay. Then US East -1. That is your reason. Change this. Okay. Okay. Now what do you need to do? Copy the data from copy users from this. IAM rule is this. So this is the query. So all query you can take, copy it Okay, and now put it this in your Redshift query editor. Okay, so you added all the query. Okay, now execute, run. So what will happen? All the data it will take from the S3 bucket. See, the thing is query 391 query within the fraction. How much time? Just milliseconds. It's executed. Okay. So we are getting the message. Everything is done. Right? Everyone has the data now. Now you want to check. Okay. So let's check. So select star. So now we are checking once data is available. So now we can fire the query. Okay. So select star from pg underscore table underscore daf. Okay, we want to execute this. I want to see in this cells table. Run. Once you do that, see, you will get the results. This is the data. Okay. Now, so any SQL queries you can execute. Suppose that some specific you want to take. Okay. So that one you want to execute. So anything. Okay. Execute this. Run. Okay. So you are getting immediately the results. So now what you did, you are executing the things, you are getting the results. Again back. Okay, I am doing this. Put it this, run. So some of the query you are executing. Okay, you are getting the results. There you can see the data visualization. So in the visualizations, what is your column and all? So line chart, bar chart, short key, y-axis. Okay, so means you can define. So according that your chart, line chart. Okay, choose the column, which column you want to choose. Okay, so the table details, query results. So there are the column, which column you want to select some of the data tables, so that you can select it. You want to export this data CSV, text, HTML, you can do that. Suppose that this results you want to take it in the text, take it in the text, it will come. Okay, so it has the features. Okay, the operations which you are doing. So now once we done this all in this, now there we can see the cluster query, query editors. Okay, so we can go here. and we can see reserved node, snapshots that will come here, query editor. This is your query editors, Amazon Redshift. Okay, so here you can see your cluster, number of the queries, whatever you fired, database connections, disk space, CPU utilizations, what are the events is going to happen, query overview. Okay, so all these details will come here. Now go to this cluster. Now in this cluster, if you will see like query monitoring. So in this query monitoring, you can see the query history. Okay, see whatever you are executing, query running. Okay, and see these are the query which you fired. So that's why in the production environment without Jira, don't fire the query without, otherwise people will ask you why you fired the query in the production environment if it is a banking environment. Okay, so now you can see which query you fired, that information also will be there if you can see. Okay, see this query you fired, correct? So basically it is like a more important for the security reason also, database performance. Here you can see the performance. So duration range, query throughput, so you can analyze it. These are the graph. Okay, now workload concurrency. So here this will tell you running queries on the clusters. So here you can monitor the operations which is happening. Okay, so what it is? It is like your Amazon Redshift. That's it for the day, guys. Any questions? You let me know. And okay, so you go here and action. You go and delete. Okay, delete all database. No need to create the snapshots if you are doing the practice. Okay, and delete the cluster. Okay, we should not keep this because it is very heavy. So after our hands-on is over, we can delete that. Got it? Any questions you can ask.